So scattered leaves are a type of foliage, but they're not solid clumps of leaves. This technique is used for trees that are very close to us so we can see individual leaves, or for trees that just don't have very many leaves. Scattered leaves are made almost with a stippling technique, where you're just making little groups of dots. One important thing about this technique is to make sure you've got a pretty thick amount of paint on your brush. You don't want to have to tap hard, and you don't want your paint to be fuzzy and transparent. You can use lots of different brushes for this. Some artists prefer a small round brush, others prefer the corner of a flat brush or a fan brush. Just try to figure out something that gives you sort of a leafy shape when you tap with it, and keep your taps random and irregular. So there's no base layer with scattered leaves. It's almost like we skip that entirely and just go right to the texture and the highlight. So you're going to start with a mid-tone color. Scatter your taps around the edges of thin branches. Don't cling to the branches. Imagine that there's lots of little branches there that we can't see supporting these leaves. Take your time here and really think about where you want to put the leaves. It's easy for this to kind of get away from you, and before you know it, you've covered the whole tree with leaves. So take it slow. You can always add more if you need to, but it's really hard to take them off once they're there. Then you're going to switch to a highlight color, which is probably going to have a little bit of yellow and white in it, and do the same kinds of taps, but mostly on the side that the light would hit. You're not highlighting individual dots, you're still just scattering some more leafy shapes. Take a look at a reference or two just to see how leaves actually hang off of branches. It will really help the first few times you do this. And the last little tip, make sure that you give some thought to what's behind your scattered leaves. They need contrast in order to stand out, so don't put them on something that's very similar in color. And really busy areas with lots of texture, like a complex mountain, also don't make great backgrounds for scattered leaves.